Going on, guys? Firstly, yeah, this is up a bit late because, as you can hear, my voice is fucked. Ended up missing the game yesterday. Was out celebrating my birthday properly this weekend, and bruv, man took it a bit too far. Got washed in it, like so. Voice was gone. Couldn't put on my match review yesterday. Missed the game, but here it is now. Manchester United won, Chelsea won, and I was fuming in it. If I'm completely honest with you, shit game of football. Let's get to the nitty gritty because I'm not gonna say we were unlucky and this, that, and the other. We simply weren't good enough. It's like we can only play at our best for like half an hour and then we just fall apart, bruv. That's what it feels like. Like, I haven't seen Manchester United play a good game of football for a solid 90 minutes in about 3 years, maybe even longer than that, because it never happened under Maureen. It hasn't happened under Ollie. We always give it a good half an hour. At the beginning, it was a good half an hour. We get 3-4 goals up, and then at the end, we're kind of hanging on. That's what was happening at the beginning when we were winning games. When you look at the Cardiff games and all that, we blow these men away in a 20-minute spell, and then would let them kind of not back into the game, but would give them a chance. And yesterday, another David De Gea howler. And you know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of people saying, oh yeah, De Gea's done this for us, done that for us, so we can't criticize him. Bro, he's a human fucking being, innit? At the end of the day, De Gea cost us that game yesterday, innit? Like, I don't care what no one says. Yeah, it's not nice to talk about, but he's been playing shit for a while. I think that's 3 or 4 errors leading to goals in the last 4 games. That's more than in the previous 100 and something games for him. I've seen the stat. It's unacceptable, bruv. And not only is it unacceptable, but it's clear that David De Gea mentally, yeah, there's something wrong with that youth, yeah. Because remember under LVG when there was the Real Madrid rumours and that, LVG dropped him. He dropped him, bruv. So Oli should have dropped David De Gea. He should have. People say no, he shouldn't have. Bruv, our number 2 goalkeeper is good enough to be number 1 for most teams in this league. Probably outside of Liverpool, Man City. Because for me, he's better than Lloris. Lloris is shit anyway, bruv. An Arsenal goalkeeper I don't rate. So, outside of them two, bro, I think he's even better than Chelsea's goalkeeper, bruv. I don't rate Kepa either. So, it's not like we've got a shit number 2. We don't have a shit number 2. There's no excuse that Romero shouldn't have got games, bruv. Because De Gea's head's clearly not in the game. It's not at the club. You need to send that you on holiday. And that fucking error was, bruv, I'm not a goalkeeper, I'm saving that. There was no power in that shot. Everyone that's watching this video now probably would have saved that shot. It's not acceptable. And as I said, LVG dropped him before. So obviously there's a mental weakness with David De Gea. When he's not concentrating, when his head's not in the game, he's a liability, bruv. I don't care how many times he saved us before. That's irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? You could be in a fucking loving, amazing relationship, yeah, and everything can be great, yeah, but when your partner keeps fucking up repeatedly, bruv, man ain't thinking back to all the good times, blood. I can only deal with what's happening now, innit? At the end of the day, yeah, when it comes to business and when it comes to success and being successful, there ain't no room for sentiment. Fuck all the sentiment with this David De Gea thing. This youth should have been dropped and we would have won that game. Because Romero saves that. So, as much as I don't want to lay the blame on the result on him, it is his fault and it's not his fault. Because we still had enough time after that to win the game. But you could say that, but then at the same time, I keep telling people, football is a game of momentum. We were in complete cruise control, 1-0 up. He never had a save to make other than that. The one save he had to make all game, he fucked it up, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And those are the fine margins. That could have cost us top 4. That's how big a fucking mistake it is. And Ollie has to take some of the blame for not dropping him, for not seeing that his head wasn't in it, bruv. It's all well and good saying, yeah, I have faith in him, but if your striker goes 8 to 10 games without scoring, bruv, you give him a break. Like you do, innit? Like they're human beings. Sometimes you need to pull them out the firing line and just be like, you know what? You're not on a good run of form now. Maybe you're overthinking it. Like, just sit it out, have a break, take the pressure off, then I'll bring you back in. That's all he needed to do, bruv. I would have done, you do it with your striker, you'd have done it with your defender. If there was any other player on the pitch that was playing as bad as him, they would have probably been dropped, bruv. Probably, innit? So it's not about, oh, we got to protect him because he's one of our best players or whatever like that. Bruv, if a man's not playing well, you sit him down on the bench. And genuinely, as much as he has saved us, that cost us the game yesterday. I think we weren't good enough all over the pitch. I think Rashford was abysmal again. I'm tired of saying it. He's not good enough. He never will be good enough. And when I say good enough, I mean to be Manchester United's number 10, to be starting week in, week out. He'll never be good enough. He's not at that level. He never was at that level. When he broke through from the youth team, he wasn't at that level. He wasn't that guy. And I'll keep saying it because he's English and he's overrated. And a lot of our fans don't get that. But you'll catch up eventually. Lukaku got a lot of stick from Gary Neville, which I thought was a load of fucking shit. I'm not Lukaku's biggest fan, but this was not one of Lukaku's worst games. I thought in terms of build-up play, in terms of the pass that he played for Luke Shaw for the goal, I think Lukaku had one of his better games. He had a chance that Luke Shaw played him a good ball over the top. His touch wasn't good enough and he wasted the chance. If we had an elite striker, we score. But actually, I thought Lukaku played all right. All right. Not good, just all right, innit? But the stick that he was getting from Gary Neville, saying, oh yeah, he looks unfit and after 20 minutes he looks tired, that might be the case. But at the moment, he's better than Marcus Rashford. You didn't say nothing about Marcus Rashford, bruv. And this is my problem with Gary Neville and people like that. Like these man, like a lot of the English players they get a pass, innit? They get a bly. They're allowed to play shit. They're allowed to do bullshit like that. Nothing is said. And that's why I'm always more harsh on the English players, because they seem to escape all the scrutiny that all the foreign players get. As much as Lukaku, his touch could have improved, and I reckon he should have scored that. But I didn't think he had one of his worst games. I didn't at all. The substitution for Sanchez coming on for Rashford should have happened a lot earlier. Ollie came out saying, oh, Rashford, you could tell his shoulder was hurting and we strapped him up and that. I don't like Ollie's bias towards him, bruv. Rashford's not good enough to be relying on him like he's some superstar, bruv. He's a bang average fucking footballer. I wouldn't even call him a centre forward because he's not that for me. So I'm not really trying to see that bullshit. I think we definitely need to buy a striker in the summer. I think Rom's gone and I think we need a striker. Certain man are saying we don't need a Cardi, this, that and the other. We need a Cardi, bruv. I don't care. Man are talking about personal life and that. Eric Cantona was punching that man on and off the field before we signed him. He came to the club and he behaved himself. I don't give a fuck about personal life. What you're doing on the pitch is what's important. When Ryan Giggs was shagging his brother's missus, yeah, you lot weren't talking about personal life. Now man saying they don't need that kind of stress in the changing room with a Cardi. I'm taking a Cardi because he's a bad boy, innit? Man's not trying to hear about no personal life. I think Eric Bailly, the mad bastard, yeah. For someone, yeah, whose injury record says that he's made like glass, man, I don't know. This guy just flies in. He's a reckless youth. Some tackles coming straight out of Mortal Kombat, went and injured himself again. Other than that, he was solid. I thought Bailly, I don't know how it's taken so long for my man to get back in the starting lineup. Bailly was immense yesterday. Didn't put a foot wrong. Him and Lindelof looked good, you know. It was good to see Smalling and Jones dropped. I think that needed to happen. But I don't know if Ollie's being ruthless or if he's winging it at this point. I really don't know, you know, because when I saw all them man get dropped, I was like, yo, this is wavy. I don't think Fred deserved to get dropped, but Smalling, Jones and Young deserve to get dropped. Not Young, sorry. Young fucking played. Smalling, Jones, who else got dropped? I can't remember. No, Dallo wasn't in there anyway. But I just think the freshen up was needed. The freshen up was definitely needed, but I'm torn. I don't know if Ollie was freshening it up, if he was winging it. I think he went back for the diamond again because that's what we used to beat Chelsea in the cup. And I think the diamond worked well with the two up front. I'd like to see that probably till the end of the season now. Because I've said many, many times we don't have wingers. I'm not trying to see this wing play bullshit because Martial's not a winger. Sanchez ain't a winger. Rashford should be a winger, but he's not. And Lukaku's not a winger. So this whole 4-3-3 thing, with the personnel we've got, it don't even make sense, innit? Unless we're going to buy a winger or even two wingers in the summer, I don't see the point in persisting with this 4-3-3. I would definitely buy a right winger and play Rashford or Martial from the left and get a striker. If man got Sancho in, so we say for argument's sake, Sancho or Zaha, then we got Martial on the left and like a Cardi up front. That's the kind of levels we need to be aspiring to be honest, because too many of these men are simply not fucking good enough. Matic came in, he done some good things yesterday. He always does some good things and some shit things, and the man Matic ain't good enough for me. And Herrera came back. He showed what we missed when he wasn't playing. Again, what people don't understand is Ander Herrera ain't no elite level player, but Ander Herrera his style of play is what man will miss, innit? So when man are like, oh yeah, as soon as Herrera came back, we look better, give him the money. No, bruv. We're Manchester United. We need elite players in that red shirt, guys. Like, the standards have dropped so low to the point where man think that Ander Herrera's the saviour. Man think Victor Lindelof's the saviour. These man are Premier League level players at best. That's it. These men are not Champions League level ballers. We can't be giving these men 200 bags a week. They're not good enough, bro. We're Manchester United. When you look at the squad that won the Champions League in 2008, we never had no Herrera level ballers, blood. Like, we never had no Lindelof level ballers. We had some real ballers. I said Victor Lindelof ain't even better than the man that we used to have on the bench, like your Wes Browns and that. Like, he's not. So for me, like, building teams with that level of football, like, it sends the wrong message to the fans and just to other teams out there, bro. You know what I mean? Like Mick Phelan was saying, when he was in charge with Fergie, we used to sit down and say, how many of our men would the opposition want to take from us? That's how we used to judge where we were at in European football. Right now, only Paul Pogba men are taking from us. Because right now, fucking hell, bro, I wouldn't even take David De Gea. He's looking like, I don't know what he's looking like, fam. Do you know what I mean? So our team is in very serious need of renovation, a revamp. I want to see at least 5 players come in the summer if we're serious. A lot of people saying, we're going to miss out on top 4. Who cares, bro? Honestly, the state our squad is in, there's nothing worse I can think of than seeing us in the Champions League getting slapped. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse I can think of, because that's what's going to happen, guys. The one saving grace for us at the moment is we haven't got slapped like Arsenal, bruv. Like, man, I ain't seen my team get 10-2'd anywhere, bruv. And I'm not trying to see my team get 10-2'd. So with that in mind, I'd rather that we were in the Europa League and we done a rebuild in there and possibly won it again. Win the Europa League again, get into the Champions League that way, whilst acquiring a squad that are capable of challenging in the Champions League. Because there's no point being in the Champions League to make up numbers. Because what will happen is, if we made top 4, the Glazers would have looked at it saying, we made top 4, see, it's not that bad. And then maybe Oli wouldn't have got the full shebang, the full money that he needs to get. But now they're looking at it like, hold on, no Champions League football, so we don't have the Champions League revenue. We can't attract a certain caliber of player unless we spend a certain amount of money and pay these amount of wages. It actually forces their hand and makes them think, you know what, we have to shell, innit? So because of that, I think that not qualifying for the Champions League could be a blessing in disguise. Honestly, the worst thing about this is seeing Arsenal die for the 3rd time in a row, and I couldn't even celebrate it because I had no faith in the boys to deliver, and they didn't, innit? So all in all, guys, what I have to say is, like, ultimately, we got what we deserved yesterday. Even though I think we deserved to win on balance of play, when you make errors like that, at the top level, you deserve to be punished. So we're not going to make Champions League, I don't think. I don't really care about it. We just need to rebuild. And there's a lot of noise saying that McPheelin's getting the director of football and Ed's also going to bring someone in to negotiate transfers, which would be brilliant because the further away Ed is from that, the better. Once he's away from that, then we can seriously see what direction we're going to go in. And if we are going to sell Lukaku for argument's sake, even if we get 50 M's from that, I don't know if David De Gea is staying. Like, I think that he could leave as well. If them two leave, who knows? Between them, that's at least 100 million on top of the 200 M's that we would have got anyway. If we get 300 million to spend and we get rid of, say, Sanchez, Lukaku, De Gea, I wouldn't be too upset, to be honest. As much as I want to keep Dave, it's clear that man's head's somewhere else. Okay, standouts for the game yesterday. I have to go with Ander Herrera because there was a difference immediately when he came back in. Paul Pogba was very good yesterday again. Very good. He controlled the tempo of the game. Was involved in pretty much everything. And yeah, like, I couldn't even pick a third, to be honest. I think no one was great, but I think out of the game, them two controlled it the most. I have to say, before he ran out of gas, I thought Lukaku was all right as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he's trash. However, he bounced fucking Aspilicueta down the tunnel, bruv. Sent man to the shop to buy a packet of fags for his gaffer, bruv. I'm telling you, just bounced man like out the camera shot. That was the highlight of the game for me. That's how shit the game was. So on that balance, I think that I'll just give it to Ander Herrera because he's been out. But me personally, I thought Pogba did bitch yesterday. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the topics that I've touched on so far. Rashford's performance, the media bias. I think he's been terrible for some time now. From even before the PSG game, he's been bad. And he keeps escaping criticism, but not from me, bruv. Like, I don't sleep on shit like that, bruv. I'm a fair guy, innit? Like, I don't rate Lukaku, but when Gary Neville was giving him stick yesterday, I'm not here for that, bruv, because I thought that there was a lot worse players than him. Same with Rashi. When he's playing well, I'll take my hat off, but I'll never, ever get it twisted. Rashi is not levels, blood. Like, he's really not. Him and Jesse are bench players for us. Maximum level bench players. You know what I mean? Borderline not even good enough for the bench. That's where them man are. And to be wanting, apparently he's stalling on a new deal and wants all this money and all of that, he needs a reality check. And hopefully Ollie brings in some competition. Okay, let me know in the comments. Make sure you smash that like button, guys. My voice is fucked, bro, but you know I always try and get you your content, man. Make sure you add up the socials as well. At Rants and Bants on Instagram, which is now verified as well. I got the final tick, bruv. Man feels like Thanos, blood. I got the final tick. My Facebook's verified and my Twitter's verified. So it's at Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, guys, it's been emotional. Rants Red Talk comes out tonight at 5 p.m. I'm going to film that shit in a little while. And then I'm going to go and film the Flex and Rant show. And also the WTF show. So man's out here working hard for you lot, innit? So I had to rest up the voice yesterday so I could get these videos out, get this work done. And yeah, I'll catch you again soon.